Hi there, boys and girls. It's Mr. Ousley here. I've got another vocabulary read aloud for you today. This one's called There's a Cow in the Road. And in this rhyming tale, a child notices some strange things in front of her house as she gets ready to meet the school bus. This is a fun story. All right, so let's talk about some words that are going to pop up in this story. First word I want to talk about is drenched. Can you say that? My turn. Drenched. Your turn. Awesome. You hear that ch sound in drenched? You do? What two letters make that ch sound? Do you remember? That's right, CH. So drenched, if something is drenched, it is completely wet. I have a picture here that I'm going to share with you for drenched. You guys can see that. That is Kermit the Frog, and he is sitting there and he gets blasted with just a tremendous amount of water and he is soaking wet. In this situation, you could say that Kermit is drenched because he got very, very wet. He doesn't look happy about that, does he? That is drenched. All right. Another word that we're going to talk about in this story is gorgeous. Your turn. Very good. Gorgeous. One more time. Your turn. You got it. Something is gorgeous if it is very beautiful and people love to look at it. I found something gorgeous that I'll share with you. Here we go. What do you see there? That's right. These are gorgeous flowers. Roses, to be exact. But something that is gorgeous is very, very beautiful, just like these blooming roses, these flowers here. All right, this next word, you got to watch out for this word. Vain. Your turn. That's right. Now, this word is not the vein that you might be thinking of, as in the part of your body that brings blood all out throughout your body to your organs. It's not that kind of vein. This vein, if you say someone is vain, you think that they are too proud of the way that they look or how smart they are. So this is like a personality trait. If someone is vain, they think that they're really awesome and they think that they're better than a lot of people. I found a character that you might recognize. He's very vain. Do you guys remember this particular fellow? That's right, this is Gaston from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. And he loves himself. He thinks that he is the strongest, most handsome person in his village, and he thinks that Belle will fall in love with him immediately, despite being arrogant, conceited, and vain. He is very vain. If you saw that movie, you probably couldn't stand listening to him talk about himself. I think at the bottom it says, "Here in town there's only she who is beautiful as me." He is vain. Not a good character trait to have. All right, another word we're going to talk about in our story is linger. My turn. Linger. Your turn. That's right. And there's going to be some animals in this story. They're going to be enjoying standing in a road. Another way to say that is that animals were lingering in the road. If you linger somewhere, you're going to stay there for longer than you need to be because you just enjoy being there. It's kind of like just standing around. You're lingering. This furry little friend is just lingering here on this chair. You see, just standing around, not doing much of anything. Definitely hanging out longer than he needs to be there. Very adorable, though. Very cute. Linger. Your turn. Very good. Sometimes if your parents are trying to go somewhere and you're just standing around, maybe you're not getting your shoes on or getting your coat like your folks might want you to do. They might say, hey, stop lingering. All right, I have one more word. This one is weird. It is strange. And the word is peculiar. Something peculiar is strange or unusual or even weird. Let's say peculiar together. My turn. Peculiar. Your turn. Good. All right. I have a peculiar picture that I'll share with you, but you have to understand. It's weird. It's strange. It's unusual. Try not to laugh. Well, you can laugh. It's kind of funny. Okay. I don't know if you're ready to see this. It's goofy. It's silly. It's strange. All right. So this is peculiar, right? Very odd. You have Indiana Jones famously running from a gigantic boulder as he does in the movie, but if you look at that boulder, it has a face on it. Gigantic boulders don't usually have faces on them, and there's a kitten running along top of that boulder. You wouldn't ever see this. That is strange and peculiar. And that face, by the way, is Sir Patrick Stewart, the actor who plays Charles Xavier in a lot of the X-Men movies. But that is probably the most peculiar thing you will ever see, because it's strange. All right, friends. So those are the words that are going to come up in our story. We'll talk about them a little bit more at the end, but let's get to it. There's a cow in the road. By Reeve Lindbergh, illustrated by Hector Borlaska. There's a cow in the road, and it sure is a shock when I first wake up at 7 o'clock. To hear the horns and the screech of brakes and go to the window and see, gosh sakes, there's a cow in the road. She's a big one too. Browsing on blossoms drenched with dew. That's right, drenched. It means that those blossoms are very wet. When the cow looks at me and the cow says, moo, and the next thing I know, there's a goat there too. There's a goat in the road at the edge of our drive as I pull on my socks at 7:05. He's got 4 white feet and a fine white beard. He's a gorgeous goat, but it still seems weird. There's a goat in the road, as plain as can be, and our paper boy's hiding behind a tree. What's that you said? Gorgeous. Yes, the goat was gorgeous. That means that it's a beautiful goat. People like to look at it. Then the cow looks at me, and the cow says, moo. And the next thing I know, there's a sheep there too. There's a sheep in the road with her fleece all clean as I wash my face at 7:15. Don't ask me the reason, I don't have a clue. She's just standing there with the other 2. There's a sheep in the road where the drive meets the grass, and there's just enough room for the cars to pass. But the cow looks at me and the cow says, moo. And the next thing I know, what do you think's going to happen next? I think you're right. You're right. There's probably another animal that's going to show up. And the next thing I know, there's a horse there too. There's a horse in the road, and he's full of tricks. As I comb my hair at 7:26, he's twitching his tail and tossing his mane. He's a handsome horse, but a little bit vain. There's a horse in the road all ready to go. He doesn't look sleepy, and he doesn't look slow. Then the cow looks at me, and the cow says, moo. And the next thing I know, there's a goose there too. There's a goose in the road. She's down by the tree. as I grab my homework at 7:33. She's walking around and honking a lot. She's looking for something, but she won't say what. There's a goose in the road, in a gray feathered gown, telling barnyard stories from all over town. Then the cow looks at me, and the cow says, "Moo!" And the next thing I know, there's a pig there too. There's a pig in the road at the end of the line as I gobble my toast at 7:39. He's a large pink pig with a big broad smile, and I'm going out to meet him in a very short while. There's a pig in the road, and it's easy to see that the road is the place for a kid like me. Now the kid's in the road. So the cow looks at me, and the cow says, "Moo!" And the next thing I know, I'm standing there too. There's a crowd in the road where there wasn't before, side by side at 7:44. The cow and the goat and the sheep and the horse and the goose and the pig and me, of course. There's a crowd in the road, and it sure feels good to wait all together in our neighborhood. Why are we waiting? So we won't be late. The school bus comes at 7:45. All right, so in our story, the blossoms were drenched with dew. Remember, something is drenched. It is completely wet. The goat in our story was gorgeous. Something gorgeous is very beautiful, and people love to look at it. The character in our story who was vain was the horse. If you say someone is vain, you think that they are too proud of the way they look or how smart they are. The animals in the story seem to enjoy standing in the road. Another way to say that is the animals were lingering in the road. If you linger somewhere, you stay there for longer than you need to because you enjoy being there. And lastly, peculiar. There were many strange sights at the bus stop. We might say that the things at the bus stop were very peculiar. Something peculiar is strange or unusual or even weird. Let's say peculiar together. Peculiar. That one was my favorite. Sometimes it's good to be a little peculiar. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I love reading to you. I'll see you soon. Take care. Go birds.